Okay, so let's get right into it. There's something really strange happening in Hollywood right now. The big studios, they're getting ready to spend more money than they ever have. But at the same time, the future of the movie business, actually going to a theater, well, it's looking pretty bleak. So what in the world is going on? And that right there is the big question, isn't it? The wallets are wide open, we're talking billions of dollars, but that cash isn't making its way to your local movie theater. What we're seeing is a huge strategic shift that can honestly change entertainment forever. We've got to follow the money. And that's where we'll start. See, this isn't a situation where budgets are just being cut everywhere. Nope. This is a very deliberate choice by the biggest players in Hollywood to put their billions into something else entirely. I mean, just look at this number. $24 billion. That's what Disney alone is planning to spend, and that's $1 billion increase. Now you'd think, hey, great, more money means more movies, right? Well, that's where the story takes a turn. This chart tells you pretty much everything you need to know. The money going into making actual movies, it's basically flat. But the money being poured into sports rights, it's going through the roof. This isn't some small change in strategy. It's a massive shift of resources away from the silver screen. So, where's it all going? Two places mainly. First, you've got these gigantic live sports deals, like the new NBA contract that's worth a mind-boggling $76 billion. And second, it's going into very niche streaming shows for dedicated fans. You know what's getting left behind? The mid-budget movies for a general audience that used to be the industry's bread and butter. So you have to ask, what's the end game here? Why bet the entire farm on sports? Well, according to industry watchers, it's because the ultimate goal isn't just selling you a streaming subscription. It's building and controlling a giant sports betting platform. We're talking about a revenue stream that could make box office numbers look like chump change. Okay, so what's the fallout from all this? As the studios pour their money and attention elsewhere, the whole business model for traditional movie theaters is, well, it's starting to completely fall apart. Just think about how much things have changed. We used to live in an era of these huge shared cultural moments. A movie or TV show would come out and it felt like everyone was talking about it. You had real movie stars who could open a film no matter what. Now, entertainment is sliced up into a million little pieces. It's all personalized for you, often it's divisive, and it's designed to be watched alone. That shared experience is just evaporating. So why is the old way broken? Well, for starters, the cost of making movies has just gotten out of control. The whole idea of a movie star who guarantees a box office smash is pretty much gone. And of course, you've got fierce competition from streaming services right in your living room. On top of all that, there's just a real lack of movies that appeal to everybody, that aren't trying to pick a side. This quote from an old-school filmmaker really hits the nail on the head. The problem isn't just about spending a lot of money. It's that there's this feeling they've forgotten how to spend it wisely. Budgets are bloated, and it seems like Hollywood just can't make quality entertainment anymore without throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at it. So you've got skyrocketing costs, a shrinking audience, and a year of historic strikes that shut the whole town down. The studios are desperate for a solution, and the one they seem to be landing on is artificial intelligence. And this is the million-dollar, or I guess billion-dollar question bouncing around Hollywood right now. After the writers and actors strikes, making movies with real people has become more expensive and way more risky. So a lot of executives are starting to look at AI and wonder if it's the only way to get their budgets back under control. And listen, we're not just talking about using AI for a few special effects. The next big thing they're thinking about is the AI celebrity. Just imagine a star that's completely digital. One that not only acts in the movie, but can do the press tour, show up on magazine covers, run a social media account. A whole personality, built from the ground up and completely controlled by the studio. And the logic behind it is pretty cold and simple. An AI star doesn't ask for a bigger salary, it doesn't have scandals, it never has creative differences. It's the ultimate tool for cutting costs and controlling the message, because you take that messy, unpredictable human element right out of the picture. So if the old way of doing things is broken and AI is looming, what does that mean for your local movie theater? Is it just doomed? Well, maybe not. There are actually some pretty wild and interesting ideas floating around for how to reinvent the entire big screen experience. Let's just run through a few of them. What if theaters started partnering up with streamers to show the new season of a hit show on the big screen? Or what if, instead of buying a ticket, you just scanned your streaming app at the door? Theaters could become the new sports bars, showing big games live. Or they could just double down on being the absolute best, most premium place to watch anything, with perfect sound and a giant screen you can't get at home. What this all comes down to is a really fundamental change in thinking. Theaters probably can't survive anymore just by being the only place you can see a new movie for a few weeks. Instead, their entire value has to become about being the best place for a shared communal experience. And really, this is what it's all about. That's what's at stake here. We're losing these common cultural experiences. Movie theaters are one of the last places left where a bunch of strangers can sit together in the dark and all laugh at the same joke or gasp at the same twist. We need that as people. Which kind of leaves us with this one last thought to chew on. This isn't just a business problem for Hollywood, it's a culture problem for all of us. As every single thing we watch is perfectly tailored just for us and delivered to our own little screens, are we accidentally giving up on the idea of having a culture that we all share together?